My name is Robert. I'm the president of the LA Kitchen here in lovely Northeast Los Angeles, California. And while, we're in my office right now, we're kind of right next to a 20,000 square foot, two-level processing, job training, social enterprise kitchen, where almost every single day we bring in thousands of pounds of incredibly beautiful fruits and vegetables, which we use to fuel a job training program so that men and women maybe coming home from prison or aging out of foster care can get a good skill. And while they're converting all that beautiful donated product into healthy meals, they're also guiding volunteers to the program. So again, it's kind of they're learning, but then they're teaching. And together, they're producing thousands of meals. In fact, it's almost September. We produced almost 30,000 meals this summer with donated food and volunteers and students working side by side to support anything from meal exchange programs to after school programs to senior centers with beautiful, healthy food. I think, understandably, many people look at a Gandhi, a Martin Luther King, a Rosa Parks, and they question their own courage. Could I do that? And even if I did, it wouldn't matter. I'm not Martin Luther King. I'm not Mahatma Gandhi, But I think if you really study them, you realize that, for example, Dr. King was kind of the new minister in town. And the old ministers just didn't want to take the leadership of this bus boycott. So they basically gave it to him because he was the new guy. And so it was kind of thrust upon him. And he didn't know where it was going to lead. He just knew what was right and what was wrong, and he did it. So I'm just intrigued by that idea, whether it's this idea of relentless incrementalism, which is kind of a riff on going back to Robert Kennedy, man. There's this line and a quote from a speech he made in Cape Town, South Africa, day of affirmation speech, a brilliant speech. But it's where he uttered this line that I'm going to paraphrase. It says, in effect, every single time a person stands out and stands up against injustice, they send forth a small ripple. And from a million different corners of hope, and those ripples can become waves that will wash down the mightiest walls of oppression. And so part of my culture ever since then has been this idea of, again, this relentless incrementalism, that sometimes we confuse impact with something big. I would remind people that Dr. King used the dimes it took to ride a bus in Montgomery, Alabama. That was his weapon, a thin dime against racism in America. Mahatma Gandhi used table salt that was imported from England to say to the British, hey, say to the Indians themselves, every time we buy this salt, we're empowering our enemy. There's 350 million of us. They can't put us all in jail. And if we all refuse to buy it, it'll have an economic impact. But he was also saying to the British, your comfort is my subjugation. But again, imagine going up against the British Empire with salt, table salt, Cesar Chavez used a table grape. Again, the idea that table grapes could confront and actually eventually get landowners to give migrant workers the basic human dignity of a home with running water and, enough money that people wouldn't have to live in squalor. So again, man, think about it. Grapes, dimes, and salt were three of the tools used by leaders to achieve powerful social outcomes. So I would urge people to ponder that idea that sometimes we get so enamored with this idea that it has to be big that we forget that some of the most powerful things have happened just because small things were pooled together. So it's this idea of, I urge everybody to just try in their own life to live a life that demonstrates the power of trying to leave a small footprint, having a big heart, open arms, a willing mind, and forget about the idea that I need to make some giant impact in my life. Don't ever forget, man, just the power of being a decent human probably can have more impact than most of the philanthropic grants you see every day in America. It's important to acknowledge that many people might look and say, you've done well. But the reality is, I'm a white dude in America. So I had the confidence as a young man that our first donor of food was the President of the United States, George Bush Sr., the inauguration. Now, a lot of people wouldn't have the confidence to just call up and say, hey, can I have your food? I did, because I was born white. When you're born a white man in America, you're born with this overabundant confidence. I can do anything, I can go to the moon. And I've always felt mildly obligated to use my gender as well as my tone to help others. And if I can open a door, dude, I'm holding it open for others. So I've always been open source and free. No matter what you have, you can take it, you know. So for example, here in LA, just 1 second, this curriculum, right? And this thing we did ourselves, right? And this is Big League Golf, a beautiful curriculum. Now, you know, I could go to people and say, do you want to buy it? You know, but it's like, why would I do that? Again, I had the resources, other people don't, so it's like, here, it's yours, take it.